da završimo ovaj naš prvi dan Study Abroad Weeka sa jednim univerzitetom koji je, da tako kažem, kultni za naše studente. To je Univerzitet Bocconi iz Milana. Dakle, mnogi od naših studenata studiraju, završili su, alumnisti su Bocconi univerziteta i jako mi je drago da na našoj platformi možemo da ugostimo predstavnike ove prestižne institucije. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Ivana. Hi, everyone.
Nice to see you after a long time.
Yes, long time no see. I hope you're fine.
Yes, I'm great. Thank you. I hope you're enjoying the event so far, although it's Saturday, I know. It's the final presentation of our first day of our event, but we kept, the sweetest for the end. So we knew that there are many inquiries regarding studying at Bocconi, as always. Just to tell you guys that I met Lisa at Bocconi University when we brought our students there for a lovely presentation. They hosted us, and since then we have really nice relationship collaboration. They always, let's say, participate in our event because there are many students from the region who want to know more about study programs at Bocconi. Elisa, you can share your presentation. I will let you know if I see the first slide. Yes. And whenever you're ready, you can start. Whenever we have a question, I will feel free to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
And since this is the last presentation, I will, interrupt you, give you the questions. But if there are like many questions, we will keep the time at the end of your presentation.
No problem. I have time, so we can run late a bit. Okay. I'll start. I'll try to share my screen. So Giovanna, you can tell me if you can see that. So let me open up the presentation. Okay, there we go. So I share, yes, 1 second. There we are. You should see it, I guess.
Yes, I see the first slide.
Okay.
Great. It's full screen. So currently 65 people are watching us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So we have a big audience today.
Yeah, I hope for a lot of questions. So
Great.
It will save us a lot of time afterwards.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm here all night. It's fine.
Okay, you can start.
Okay, so welcome everybody. First of all, my name is Elisa. As Giovanna said, I work for Bocconi University, and in specific, I work for the Guidance Recruitment Office. So I'm here today to answer all your questions regarding the university, the programs, the admissions. So really feel free to ask me during or after the presentation. I'll be super happy to help. I'll start trying to give you an introduction about Bocconi. I guess if you're here, maybe you already know something about the university, but we will then dive deep a bit more into the bachelor programs, the master's program, the admission process, which I know can be the hardest part, and a bit also about our campus and the housing in general. So this is the order with which we will be covering things. First thing first, what's Bocconi? Well, Bocconi is a business university, very specialized institution based in Milan in the northern part of Italy. And I put up here a few, let's say, historical facts. We are a pretty old university, I usually say to students, because we were born more than 100 years ago. Some important facts that you might want to keep in mind is that we were the first university offering a degree in economics in Italy. So we were kind of pioneers in the field where we currently stand. And we started teaching in English back in 2001. We will see the programs that we offer today, but generally speaking, now we teach more programs in English than we do in Italian. So if one of your first question is, do I need to speak Italian to go and study at Bocconi? Well, the answer is no. It's a very international institution. And everything is taught in English, so you don't really need to speak Italian. If you are using international league tables, so international rankings to compare universities, you will see us in the top position worldwide in the Financial Times rankings or in the QS subject rankings for the subjects that we teach. For example, our Master in Finance and in Management are very highly ranked. Finance is among the first 10 worldwide. And for the QS subject rankings, you find us in the top position for social sciences and management. We're also ranked the 3rd business school in Europe. What do all these numbers tell you? Well, they don't tell you everything. They just tell you about the quality that Bocconi has in the fields that we currently teach. University-wise, you should expect, if you come and study at Bocconi, you should expect to be living in what I call a medium-sized university. We have around 15,000 students on campus and coming from more than 100 different nationalities. So chances are you might be sitting in class with somebody from France, from Greece, from Turkey, from Serbia, from the UK, but also from the States, from South America, from Singapore, from the Middle East. So really, it's a very diverse environment. We have an average of 41% international students in our English taught classes. So again, you shouldn't worry too much about being in an Italian environment. It's very, very international. One main thing about Bocconi is that we've always been drawn towards internationalizations, going abroad, having ties with different countries. And this is a slide where you see all the partner universities we work with. The partner universities are basically the universities with which we have exchange programs. So all our students during both masters and bachelors can apply to spend 1 semester abroad. And these are where the universities we work with are located. So even if you study at Bocconi, you might be able to spend 1 semester in the States or 1 semester in Latin America or in one of our partner universities in Africa or in Europe. So it's to give you an idea of the kind of, again, opportunities and environment that Bocconi has. Especially for those among you who are looking to apply maybe for a master's, I know employment and work prospects are a big part of the deal, but also for bachelor students, maybe parents who are very interested in that. Let's say that generally speaking, what you see here, a few numbers about the employer relations we have at Bocconi. So last year in 2020, our career service, which is a very active one, nearly published more than 7,000 placement and internship offers for our students and graduates, 13% of those abroad. This number really tells you the, I would say, numerous possibility you would have as a Bocconi student or graduate afterwards to find employment. The employment statistics and placement statistics for our Master of Science graduates are incredibly high. Nearly 94% of our students are employed 1 year after graduation, and nearly 73% are employed on the day of graduation. So at the time you graduate, actually the vast majority of students already has a job offer. Again, a good, I would say, example of what Bocconi can give you as a student or as a graduate. Generally speaking, this is common to both bachelors and masters. If you come and study at Bocconi, what you should expect when it comes to teaching methods, so the type of learning environment, we talked about the work environment, the career prospect, but when it comes to learning academically at Bocconi, you should expect to have a very, I would say, interactive, digital, and cutting edge kind of teaching and academic environment. What I mean with that, at Bocconi, you would always have a lot of group projects, workshops, soft skills seminars, digital skills seminars. All our undergraduate students need to take a Python course, for example. There's a strong interaction between students and the class, students and teachers, whether that is academic teachers or testimonials that are brought to class to talk to you about what they face on their daily basis, maybe during their job. So it's an environment where you're really asked to participate and not passively learn, so to say. Okay, I will now try to give you, a bit of a spotlight, both on the undergraduate and graduate programs. When we talk about undergraduate programs, so programs for bachelor science for students who have just graduated from high school, these are the programs that we offer. As I mentioned at the beginning, the vast majority of the programs, as you see, are taught in English. First thing first, one thing you should know is that if you come and study in Italy, bachelor programs will last 3 years. So it's different, for example, compared to the States. So 3 years. The programs you see listed here are the ones that we offer. They range, as you see, from international business, so international econ and finance, a bit more quantitative, business coupled with specific fields like business for arts, culture, and communication. Of course, being based in Italy, this is an area that is very much relevant to us. Politics and government, economics and social sciences, management, so business and computer science. So if you're into data science or machine learning, that's another great thing. And since a couple of years, we also have a program in math and computing science for artificial intelligence, which is basically math and physics applied to artificial intelligence. Last but not least, we have a 3-degree program with USC in California and Hong Kong University of Technology called World Bachelor in Business that is very different from the others. I will not dwell too much on that. If then there are questions about this specific program, I'll be happy to answer them at the end. But since it's very different, I usually keep it, let's say, on the side. What should you expect from a bachelor degree? Well, during the 3 years, it's a sort of stream. So you start in the first year having the compulsory courses, the foreign language, the basics. You get to know the pillars of the program you're studying. And then you move in the second year, you start having group works, specialization courses, soft skill seminars, and you really build a more specialized knowledge. Then the third year is usually the one students like most because it's the most flexible one, where undergraduate students can do an exchange program, so apply for 1 semester abroad, do an internship, so start and work for a company maybe while they're studying, and then choose their elective courses, so tailor-made their path a bit. This is, let's say, the general structure that is common to all bachelor programs at Bocconi. What does it change with master's program and which master programs do we offer? Well, you see here the list. I know it's a bit overwhelming, it's a lot. We offer nearly 12 master programs and a lot of specialized double degrees at master's level. As you see here, the fields are similar to the ones for the bachelor programs because we always have also have management, we have marketing, we have economics, we have politics. But as you see, the masters are much more specialized in most cases. So we have, for example, management for innovation and technology. We have data science and business analytics, which is a normal, I would say, prosecution of the program in management and computer science. We still have management for arts, culture, and entertainment. We have management for international organizations. So the field is very broad. And then, of course, we have programs that are internationally highly ranked, such, for example, international management or finance. Let's say that all these programs you see here last 2 years. So in Italy, the system works with the 3 years bachelor plus the 2 masters. What do you do in 2 years? Why not 1? Well, master programs last 2 years because really during those 2 years, you need to, I would say, gather different experiences and knowledge that in 1 year could be difficult to have. Why am I saying so? Well, because during the 2 years, you have the first year, the compulsory courses, so the core ones, the relevant one for your course. And then between the 2 years, usually students do an internship. There is a compulsory internship that can be done in Italy or abroad to do within the 2 years, so to say. So that takes away a bit of time. The learning of 2 foreign languages and other enhancing activities. Then you get to the second year where you really have specialization courses that you can choose between a major and a free track. And then again, an exchange program. So basically in 2 years, you manage to have an exchange program, an internship, a few specialization courses, 2 foreign languages. So as you see, it's a lot to do, but in 2 years' time, it's totally feasible. So when our students graduate, they're very well prepared and have a very, I would say, rich and competitive CV compared to other students. Okay, now let's get to the hardest part. Admissions. How do you get into Bocconi? How can you become a Bocconi student? Application procedures are different between bachelor's and master's program. So for bachelor program, for the undergraduate program, I'll start with that first. We consider 3 main elements. Your school reports, so your grades from your second to last and third to last year of high school. To give examples, if you're doing the IB, this will mean the middle year programs or the GCSEs, and IB year 1. If you're doing A levels, this would mean GCSEs and ASs level. If you're doing a normal, let's say, national diploma, it will mean year 10 and year 11, so junior and sophomore year. We do not consider your final year grades. And why is it so? We will see that in a bit, but because you applied before you actually graduate. The second and most important element, together with the grades, is a test. You can either apply with an international test, such as the SAT or the ACT, or we have our own test called Bocconi test, which is an online test, multiple choice one. You can do it in English, of course, and it has a part of questions in math, part in logic, analytical reading, is to test your analytical knowledge, so to say, analytical abilities. Last but not least, your CV and your personal statement. We want to know about you. Why are you applying to Bocconi? Why to that or those specific courses? Indeed, when you apply, you're able to list 4 programs you're interested in from the one you like best, and then you can rank 3 others. So why do you want to apply to those? Why should we pick you as a student? What can you bring to class? You can list that in your personal statement. If you have additional language certificates, you can upload them in your application, and that's a part of the evaluation as well. Okay, when can you apply? Well, you can apply. We have 3 application rounds every year. One is called early session, and it has already expired actually for a 2022 entrance. So for courses starting in September 2022. And it's for junior students, or students in their second to last year. Then we have 2 sessions, one in winter and one in spring for senior students. So the next application round will open on the 15th of November and close on the 25th of January, whereas the last one is the spring session. I'm giving out the first advice here. This question may come up later, but I guess it's always a common one. When should I apply and can I reapply? I don't know, Giovanna, if that was what they were asking.
Well, more or less. The question was, if I apply in the first round, does that guarantee me the admission?
Well, it does not guarantee you the admission, meaning that there is always a very tough selection. We have nearly a 25% selection rate. So, you know, it's always anyways a selection process to go through, but you can reapply. So my suggestion is, if you're really, really interested in Bocconi, if you think Bocconi is one of your top choices, then you should start applying earlier, let's say in the early session or in the winter session, because you have more chances to be accepted, more places are available. If you're not accepted, you just reapply, which is fine. And it's like we have never seen your application before. But usually applying earlier, it's better also in terms of possibilities of getting accepted, I would admit it, sorry.
What is the application fee for Bocconi?
It's 100 euros, both for bachelor's and master's program. It's the same. The test, if you do the Bocconi test, has no extra cost. So it's in the application fee.
And if someone applies more than once,
100 euros.
He or she will pay the application fee every time.
Yes, you have to repay the application fee, because basically it's like we have never seen your application before. So you reapply every time and you have to repay the application fee.
Okay. Is the Bocconi test online or offline?
It's online. So we went online during the first COVID wave. We had to do it in like 2 months. Of course, everything was pretty rushed. And since then, we left it online. It's pretty convenient. You can do it from the safety of your own home. There is usually a week in which the test takes place. So when you apply, you can select a date among different options, a date and usually also a time that is available. So it's also convenient in terms of scheduling it when you're free.
Or will you switch to online, offline after this whole situation?
That's a great question, Giovanna. We don't know yet. So what I think is that it will be kind of hard to not do it online anymore, because students got used to it, because we can reach students who maybe don't want to do the SAT or the ACT, or cannot do it because there are no test centers around them. I don't know if we will go back to the offline also form. For the moment, this is, I think, the safest way and the one that allows us to reach the highest number of applicants.
Yeah, previously our students who were sitting for a Bocconi test used that opportunity to visit the campus and to see around a bit, but I think they were too stressed to actually explore it. So maybe, you know, you should keep it online, but, you know, we will see about the final decision after all this COVID crisis is over.
Yeah, let's say that one thing that we did, we reopened the campus. I mean, Bocconi is now open. We have in-person classes that our students are joining, and we're also organizing campus visits. We will start in October with an organized schedule of campus visits. We will bring around campus, do info sessions. Giovanna, you're right. As you were saying, a lot of students who came for the test were so stressed about the test that I think they don't even remember how Bocconi looked during that day. Because the stress was too much. So I would suggest coming and visit if you can. We will publish very shortly this campus visit schedule, but it's definitely a good idea to come and see us. We also have online open days where you can browse around the campus. But yeah, the test was a stressful day, so I don't know how that worked for them.
So is Bocconi test free? Yes, it is free of charge. Okay. And another question is it possible to get information about some specific program from a student that attends the program?
Yes, in different ways. I can put it then here in the chat. We have on our website a Unibuddy page where we have students from different nationalities that are attending all different both bachelor's and master's programs. You just have to register through the Unibuddy tool, and then you can chat directly to the student. There is no mediation from us. So you're actually talking to the student through the Unibuddy app, which is a great thing because you can really ask also maybe, some questions you won't be asking to us because maybe you're curious. And then students, of course, are experiencing courses firsthand. So it's a great thing to talk to them. I'll be posting it here in the chat when I unshare my screen, so you guys can go there.
And also for one-on-one meetings, I think you have for our event 2 students.
We have 2 ambassadors. We have Andrea and Luca. Andrea has done, I think, both a bachelor's and a master program with us. I don't know if they're connected. I see a Bocconi University down here.
Yeah.
And
Luca, I think is connected.
Yes.
To us too.
And I think Luca is doing a bachelor with us. So definitely, guys, if you want to go and talk to them, they're brilliant students and they can share with you a bit their experience when it comes to being a Bocconi student.
Okay, that's all for now from questions.
Okay, great. No, I'll go on a bit. So we talked about bachelors. Let's go to masters. I would say the application is pretty similar when it comes to the elements that we take into account when evaluating students for master programs, but of course they're different in the content. So for Master of Science programs, we ask you to do either a GMAT or a GRE. That is compulsory. You need to do one of those tests. And we need the official score from that. There is not a minimum score you need to get, but of course, the higher, the better. And especially if you're looking at highly ranked courses, I would suggest you to try and, maybe do it a few times or at least reach a score that is competitive. Then we look at your GPA during the undergraduate program. So we want to see how you progressed during your previous degrees, so during your bachelor degree, and then your CV and your personal statement. You can also upload an optional video presentation if you want to also give that part of the evaluation. There are some programs among the one I showed you before that have special requirements and different deadlines. And those are, for example, the SEMS program, the China MIM, the Bocconi SEC double degree, and then the double degrees with Sciences Po and LSE. So I really urge you to go and have a look on our website. It's unibocconi.eu/graduate admissions. And there you find the specific deadlines and requirements for the double degrees and the special programs as well. When can you apply? Well, you can apply in 5 different rounds. The first round runs in November and the last round runs in May. So it's nearly 1 per month usually. Plus, for the special programs you see here for double degrees, there is 1 round between October and March every year. When should you apply? Well, again, the sooner the better, similar to bachelor programs. But again, apply when you have all your documents ready, when you have a satisfying GMAT or GRE, when you know your application is competitive. For example, as I said, you need an official GMAT or GRE score. So just calculate according to when you will do the test, when it's better for you to apply as well. And this is, I would say, the general structure. It's more or less like this every year. So even if you're a student who is not applying for September 2022, you can keep this kind of time frame in mind, I guess, for next year, because it's usually more or less the same. Okay, we go to fees briefly and funding, so scholarships, which I guess can be an interesting topic as well. Or Giovanna, do you have questions about the masters?
I have a question when we can see results if we apply in November.
Okay, maybe my face is covering it. You see, if you apply in November, the results are out in January, on the 20th of January. If you apply in January, in March. If you apply in March, in April, in May. It's usually 1 month after when you apply, more or less. For the November deadline is January because it closes at the end of November. One thing I forgot to mention, it's not important when you apply in one round. So let's say the first application round closes on the 30th of November, but it doesn't matter if you apply on the 1st of November or on the 29th. It's important that you finish your application before the deadline. But in that round, it doesn't matter when you apply within it.
Okay, and I think you will cover this part, but I will just read you the questions. Yes. Are there full scholarships offered by the university, and how can you win one?
Yes, so there are. Let's say that the cost of bachelor's and master's programs, it's pretty similar. For bachelor programs is around 13,000 euros per year. For master's science, 14, so 1,000 euros more. Also, the scholarships are pretty similar between the two bunches, I would say. So we have scholarships for academic merit, so academic excellence, so to say. For those ones, you don't need to apply. So when you apply for a bachelor or master program, you're automatically evaluated for a merit scholarship. This merit scholarships can be 100% tuition waiver, so you pay zero, basically, or 50% tuition waivers. You know, if you have got an academic merit, let's say scholarships at the scholarship, at the same time, you know the result. So when you see if you got admitted or not, you also see if you got that kind of scholarship. Then we have different types of funding and contribution, and those are the need-based scholarships. Those work in a different way. They require an application. At the undergraduate level, we have what we call the fee reductions. So and there are different fee brackets, basically, you can apply to according to your family economic condition that can bring the fees down. For both bachelors and masters, in Italy, there is also a scholarship that is called ISU scholarship. I know students from the region know it pretty well, so I guess Joanna, you know it too.
We had a presentation regarding the regional scholarships of Italy, so more or less our students are aware that there is that possibility.
Okay, let's say it's a very convenient one because it takes into account only your family economic situation. So it has nothing to do with merit. It's based on, let's say, need. It's a pure need-based one. It's given by the country and then by the university itself. The only problem, let's say, not problem, but issue you have to keep in mind is that the timing of this scholarship, since it's a state and regional one, it's not the Bocconi timing. So you apply to Bocconi, you know if you got accepted, and then for the ISU scholarship, you have to apply later on during the summer. So they're not exactly the same timing thing. But again, it's a great opportunity because if you get it, it covers basically all your fees or the vast majority of those. We also have student loans and then contributions for international mobility programs. So let's say if you go on an exchange or doing an internship abroad, Bocconi can contribute with a scholarship for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. There we go. Another important element, I guess this is more for maybe undergraduate students than from graduate ones, is where am I going to sleep if I come in or live if I come and become a Bocconi student? Well, at Bocconi, we have at the moment 8 dorms scattered around the university area. 3 dorms are basically in the university. So you wake up in the morning and you're really on campus already. And then the others are, I would say, 15 minutes walking from Bocconi across a park. There is only one dorm that is a bit further out, but reachable with like a 10-15 minutes tram ride. So everything is very close by. You should imagine Bocconi as an urban campus. It's part of the historical part of town. It's really, we have all the buildings, the classroom buildings, professor buildings, the library. Now we have opened a huge new sports center. Everything is very close by, and the dorms are as well, so it's very convenient. We offer single rooms with either private or shared bathrooms according to the accommodation, and those are assigned on a first come, first served criteria. There is always an yearly application for housing that usually opens up in May, and students need to apply as soon as it opens because unfortunately there is not enough places for everybody, so the application has to be done pretty quickly. The cost of the housing, which may be an interesting point, really varies. I would say that the cheapest rooms at full rate are around 600 euros per month. And then, of course, if you go up to a studio apartment, that it can be up to 900 euros per month, for example. You can also stay off campus. There are plenty of apartments that are, let's say, rented out to students around Bocconi. And the cost of a single room in Milan, it usually ranges from 550 euros per month to up if you're looking, of course, to have your own private apartment. I already talked a bit about campus, so I'll go really briefly into this before closing up. As I said, Bocconi, it's right in the city center, and the campus, also because of this, is a very active one. We have a lot of students associations on campus, more than 90 actually. We have just opened our new sports center with a huge Olympic swimming pool, running tracks, basketball courts, football pitches. And we always host a lot of, I would say, interesting people and manager on campus. To give you an example, this week in Milan, there's a fashion week. Finally, after COVID, it's the first live fashion week. And this week we hosted a masterclass with Anna Wintour. And it's actually the first time she has ever given a class to a university students. So you see also here in this picture, for example, Tim Cook, Howard Schultz. It's the kind of people that come to Bocconi to really interact with students and give master classes. So this is the kind of environment, again, you should expect. You find here our contacts, wherever you can find information about undergraduates and graduate programs, and our social channels as well. Giovanna, I don't know if there's any other question.
Well, so far nobody asked anything. I think that the most of the questions were related to application requirements, you know, competition, and basically deadlines and the chances to get to become a Bocconi student. So for now, we don't have any so far. I would definitely invite all of you who want to have like a private chat with a representative of Bocconi. You still have the chance to book one-on-one meetings and to download a brochure at their virtual booth and to see about the application deadlines and requirements. We can also like help you out. We advise many students on how to, you know, get their application done on time, you know, to have everything regarding the documents, and yeah, use this chance because, you know, the first deadlines are opening in November, right, Elisa?
Yes, for both the undergrads and the graduate program. So definitely, again, we have two amazing student ambassadors these 2 days. So it's also a chance for you not to just get information about admissions as you maybe did now, but really also about how it feels to be a Bocconi student and any maybe suggestion they want to give you. So do take advantage of that.
Yeah, and now we have a question. What is the GMAT requirement for master?
There is not a GMAT requirement because the elements we consider are not just the GMAT, but also your GPA, your CV and personal statement. I would say GMAT and GPA are for sure the two most important elements, but they balance each other out. It is competitive, as I said at the beginning. So I would say try, you know, the highest, of course, the better. I cannot tell you, well, you know, with 600, you're absolutely in. 600 could be a good score. It could be a not sufficient score for certain programs. It will also depend on your GPA. So again, try and see the best you can do, and also think about that your GPA is part of the equation. So if you have a not super high GPA, maybe you should work towards your GMAT more in order to balance it out. This is what I can tell you.
And another question was how I can schedule a one-on-one meeting. So it seems like you're fully
just for you.
Well, it's the question for Luca and Andrea. So if you guys have more time, we should open more slots for our students. Anyhow, the idea was to have like 15-20 minutes one-on-one with the student ambassadors. Our platform will be open until 2nd of October. So we have this wonder chat option software in the left ribbon of our platform. So you can go there and start a chat with student ambassadors. Just make sure that you are during our sessions that you appear there, and maybe you will catch some of Bocconi representatives. Anyhow, if I think there are no more, yes. What SAT score is good for bachelor?
Okay, similar to masters, there is not a minimum SAT score. What I can tell you is that I would say try and get an SAT score that is above 1,300. From that up, it starts to be a competitive score, but again, then it's coupled with your GPA. So it does not assure you admission, or it's not that if you take less than that, you're sure you will not get admitted. But keep that, I would say, as a general guideline towards what you should have as a starting point. But you can apply even with less with that. It just increases your chances of getting admitted.
Okay, and more questions. Can you give a profile of a student who got fully covered scholarship? So basically, we have a couple of students who applied to Bocconi. They got admitted, but we will see about those who received the full scholarship. Maybe Elisa, if there is anyone that is willing to share his or her experience, it would be useful. But nevertheless, any student who got admitted can give you enough information regarding the study opportunities, and definitely for scholarship is super individual, I think.
Yes, it's super individual. I would say that it's not it's a very, I would say, thorough evaluations. So don't think that it's a cut, below this, after this. No, we take into account all the elements I said before. So for sure, SATs, since those are academic excellence scholarship, both for undergraduates and masters, the test and the GPA play a huge role. But then, of course, also your CV and your personal statement. So I always tell students also work towards that, because if you are in that high part of the ranking among students and you're evaluated for a scholarship, also that part plays a role. What we look for is really excellence, I would say. So we want to keep those talents. If we see a talent among the students who apply, if we see a student who's bright, who has a great GPA, who has done a significant test, who has had, interesting experiences, it's something we want to keep. We want to have you with us. So it's really excellence and talent, what we're looking for. We have a generous scholarship scheme. We hand out a good number of scholarships every year, hundreds actually of scholarships every year. We have recent statistics saying that 1 in 4 students got some kind of scholarship, whether that was for academic merit or for needs. So it's a generous scheme. So you have your chances. I mean, when it comes to your GPA, maybe it's something you can work on, not too much because you're already at the end when you're applying, but the test is definitely something you can work on, whether that's for master or undergrad program. And absolutely, again, CV and personal statement, don't disregard those. We read those, we have a look at those.
Okay, and our scholarship recipients determined by the Bocconi test score and family income only. So it's not, Elisa just answered this question. It's not only the test, it's the whole profile. So you have to have excellent profile to do your test properly, to have your personal statement again nicely expressed, like express yourself nicely through your personal statement, and the whole, I think, impression about you should be, on a really highest level.
Yes, for the academic merit ones. For the need-based scholarships, no, of course, there when it comes to those, we look at your family economic income and assets, and their merit has no part in it. I mean, so those are 2 different types of scholarships, because we want to, of course, reward talent, but at the same time reward those students who deserve to be, let's say, admitted, but maybe need some help financial wise, because of course it's something that their families cannot cover, which is perfectly fine.
Okay, I think that's all Thank you, Lisa, so much for the presentation.
Thank you guys for hosting us. It's
for-
always a pleasure.
Yes, and I hope to see you again on our platform, and even better, live in Belgrade someday.
Yes, we want you back on campus, Giovanna, and I'll be glad to come and visit you too.
Okay, looking forward to that. Have a great Saturday evening.
You too. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, bye. I došli smo do samog kraja današnjeg programa našeg Study Abroad Weeka. Danas je prvi dan, ali smo imali veliki broj prezentacija univerziteta i nadam se da ste zaista uživali, da ste dobili puno korisnih informacija i da ćete i do kraja ove nedelje opet učestvovati, čuti neke nove priče univerziteta i prezentacije. Sutra nastavljamo od 10 časova. Imamo jako interesantne univerzitete koje će se predstaviti iz Nemačke, iz Britanije, iz Irske, Holandije, opet Italije. Tako da vas očekujemo na našoj platformi od sutra u 10. Puno vas pozdravljam u ime cijelog Vi akademika tima i želim vam prijatnu subotu.